resonated with or I have experienced during my own personal journey. And I wanted to share that with all of you. Hey, y'all. Welcome to the Life After Her podcast with yours truly, Nicole and Sweeney. So, if you are watching this podcast or listening to this podcast for the very first time, the purpose of Life After Her is to empower and encourage everyone that listens and to share my story and experiences and how I was able to overcome some difficult experiences. So, if you haven't already done so, make sure you do these three things. All right. I need you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you like this video and share this content with someone who you know could benefit from something like this. All right, so today's podcast episode is actually about how I was able to identify some of the negative feelings that I was experiencing through some of the difficult and traumatic experience I had gone through. So, if you haven't done so already, I want you to go back and watch the previous video where I talked about my journey through therapy. All right. So you want to make sure you go back and watch that so that the rest of the podcast episodes can make sense. So, growing up in most households, especially the African American community, we never talked about our feelings. As I got older, when I was going through things, I could not identify or add language to exactly some of the things I was feeling. And so today I want to equip all of you with some words that will help you identify what you are experiencing or what you have experienced so that you can understand exactly how you're feeling. Before I actually started this process of being able to name and identify those feelings, I had these three things to help me during my process. Those three things were prayer, asking God to identify and show and give me language for how I felt. Counsel, I think, is so very important. When I actually went to therapy, when I started my journey with therapy, I was able to work with my therapist to identify some of those feelings that I was having. And then lastly, which is always my go-to, writing. Writing words out helped me to add language to how I was feeling. All right. So it's very important as you guys are going on your healing journey, you're processing some of the things that happened to you, even as a child, that you are able to identify and add language to what you're feeling. So I'm going to give you guys a couple of words that is going to help you identify some of the things that you may have gone through. All right. So excuse me if I look down at my notes. The first word is hurt, trauma, disappointed, numb, overlooked, manipulated, abused, unsupported, frustrated, sad, overwhelmed, abandoned, defeated, used, taken for granted, and taken advantage of. So those are just some of the words that I resonated with or I have experienced during my own personal journey. And I wanted to share that with all of you, perhaps to help you identify exactly what you may have felt in previous experiences or what you may be currently feeling. The key thing that I want you guys to remember about feelings is that it is only to describe how you feel. These words that I just mentioned does not define who you are as a person, and it does not define your future. All right. So I want you to remember that. So that is all for today's podcast episode. I want you guys to stay tuned because I am actually going to do part 2 of this video to share with you some of the words I use to begin healing and to instill power in me. So make sure you check out the next video. Stay tuned. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, and yes, share this content with someone who you know could benefit from it. Until then, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.